3. I'm live, and so are you. Hey there, Markenders. Welcome back to my basement. I hope the lighting is okay. Listen, I am having an unscripted top of the hour. I didn't really have anything planned for this hour, so I decided, you know what? I'm just going to make it a big Q&A, or if anybody's interested in hearing or seeing anything else, we can just explore that as it comes. The next hour will be ducks. All right, so that's what I'm just titling Q&A here, and what I want to do is kind of write the questions down because as they come up, I lose track of them because they're very ephemeral on the comment here. So I'm going to write it down, and then so as I see it, I'm going to stop, I'm going to write it down, I'll answer them as they come in order, and we'll go for as long as we want. Seem to be all right. I'm maybe having some technology issues. The freaking Wi-Fi is right there. All right, this is the Q&A, folks. Any question? All right. What happened to my Maine accent? Well, you know, I can turn my Maine accent on and off, but the truth of it is, have you ever done an online test that they ask you, you know, what word you use to associate with certain thing, like, you know, sneakers or tennis shoes, roundabouts or rotaries? That was so accurate for me. You know, my family heritage kind of all goes back to like the Springfield, Massachusetts, Providence, Rhode Island, you know, that area of New England. So as such, I have a little bit more of that part of an accent than I have the main part. So, you know, that's where the accent thing comes in. It's fun because I grew up with the Maine accent. To play the Maine accent like my mother does. Isn't she good at it too, you know? But she's basically from the same area. And I mean, living in New Hampshire, you get it too, you know. It's just a really fun, and there's a lot of similarities to the English accent, I think, too, with the way that R's and A's, which kind of sounds like are pronounced. Anyway, yeah, so that's the deal with the accent. I think we got a good stream going now. For those of you that have just chimed in, this is an unscripted session, and we'll go for a little while. It's just sort of you and me, and I kind of want to know where you're from right now, where in the world I'm talking to. And I think I just saw somebody say that this is the last one before bedtime. Okay, Mark Enders says, what has been the hardest part for you during your 1-year daily vlogging adventure? Hardest part. What are Milo's plans after high school? Okay, hardest part of vlog. Milo's. I'm writing these down so I don't lose track of them. Plan post high school. Okay. You know, the hardest part has sort of changed over time for me. You know, initially the hardest part was the boundaries, like when to video, what not, when not to video, what to include in the edit, what not to include in the edit, what to use as clickbait, what not to use as clickbait, that sort of stuff. And that was really challenging. Okay, here's another question. How are you liking working on your own? Working on own good? Working on, have you ever considered relocating? Working on own good? Relocating? And where can we buy Milo tracks online? Relocation, Milo's music online. Right on. Okay. So how long did it take to build your house? What size team did you have? Time to build house, number of team. All right, hopefully I didn't miss any comments there. That's like, man, we got some questions to go for now. All right, so the hardest part of the vlog early on was boundaries. Then it was just sort of the stamina, and then it was more struggling to find like the story and struggling internally, like existentially, like, why am I doing this? Is this me? Start questioning yourself. You know, what are my motivations? What are my goals? All that stuff was sort of in the middle part of the year was what I was struggling with. And then the last part of the year, I've really just been struggling with kind of like the stamina to continually do the video, to continually make the edit, and to continually get that upload to occur. given the constraints of my life and the technology that I'm using, basically. So that's sort of how the hardest part, that's it. It's changed over time. Milo's plan post high school, somebody asked me that last night at the party, and really we haven't had that serious discussion with Milo yet. The sort of supposition is that he would look and find and go to a college, but we would be supportive of a number of things. Maybe there's some service learning he can do. Maybe he could take a year off and do a job and try to refocus on what he wants to do. I don't know, maybe we'll travel, maybe we'll take off and go that year after he's done with high school. I think that might be cool too. So quick answer is don't know. Okay. Working on my own, has it been good? Working on my own has been awesome. I have just been, able to get up in the morning and be responsible for myself. And that has been the biggest benefit to me, because the worrying about your crew and the worrying about getting the work and making the machine go on day after day after day was the stressful part. As you've seen from the transition of my vlogs from a year ago to now, what I do personally has changed considerably. I mean, I used to spend a lot more time right here doing office work, and now I'm almost exclusively out there doing the on the ground work, which I really enjoy and I have been missing. So it was something that I'm glad to get back to. I'm glad to getting back to do the labor. Can I, maintain this type of labor, indefinitely into the future? Do I see myself doing this forever? No, I really don't. I want to get back more into the upper level sort of consulting and stuff. And I've got a couple irons in the fire to that degree. If you stay tuned over the next few months, I think you'll see some stuff happening. Anyway, have we ever thought about relocation? I am such a homeboy, don't want to go anywhere, love what I've got here kind of guy. Andrea would relocate to Colorado in a heartbeat if I said, hey, what do you think we put the house on the market and move to Colorado? Stuff would be packed up. She'd be like, when are we going? She's from Colorado. She loves Colorado. I love Colorado too. It'd be a great place to go. It's just that, hey, buddy. It's just that there's no. For us, it would be hard. If you sell out from Maine and try to buy into Colorado, you're gonna suffer a pretty serious loss, because everybody's moving. 30,000 people a month moving to Colorado right now is what I have been heard. So. Anyway, relocation. Milo's music online. He has a few tracks on Bandcamp.com, I believe. And I think if you just go to Bandcamp.com and type in Milo Lonnie Caputo, you may be able to find them. And I've been encouraging him to find a platform to put his music on so that he can get more exposure with it, and maybe even perhaps sell a track for $1 here and there. But he just hasn't. He's doing other stuff. He's a teenager. He's almost 16. He's got other things to think about. But I'm going to keep sort of nudging him in that direction, because I think we all believe he's got some real talent that if more people were exposed to it, I think the more would like it, right? So, hey. Milo's music online. All right, for those of you that I've seen, some have chimed out, a couple maybe more have chimed in. I'm doing just a grand Q&A right now. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm down to basically my last question here. So if you have any other questions, let me know, and I'll write them down as soon as I see them. Zephyr, now that you're here, you can help me. If I miss one, can you watch the screen? All right, so let's see. How much time to build the house and the number of people? It took, Andre reminded me of this at the end of my last, session before last. It took about 1.5 years from start to finish to get it to what we consider the point that it was sort of mostly kind of completed. Did you and Casey grow up living close to one another? Okay, Casey and me. Good question. Okay. All right, tell me if more come up. I gotta write that one down. Casey and I grow up close.
Is Milo going to vlog in Europe?
Is Milo vlogging?
I'll watch that.
Okay, in Europe. All right. So, how long did it take me to build that? Yeah, it took me, about 1.5 years. And after, I think 9 to 10 months, we moved in. and I continued to work here. So that was sort of a transition zone, especially having a baby. That was funny. Where did Andrea and I meet? Kathy Miller asks. Good one, good one. Okay. You know, Casey and I grew up in different states. His mom, my mother's sister, lived in Connecticut when they were kids. And we would go down. I would probably go down with my mother maybe twice a year and visit them. And we'd always have... If Zephyr weren't here, I might be able to tell you some of the stories of the stuff we used to do together as kids. But, Casey was a little bit younger than I was, so I was more hanging out with Van and my brother, and we would just sort of roam around his crazy little neighborhood in Ledyard, Connecticut, and get into trouble in the Yale Boat Yard. And it was, anyway, it was we had a lot of fun. So, I didn't really hang with Casey much as a little kid. Really just started hanging out with him probably about 10 years ago, as we get a little bit older. Missed the one question. Do you have any wedding photos? Yes. How do the kids like living in your town? Wedding photos. Man, they go away too fast. Zephyr, how do you like living in Whitefield?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
No, I'm pretty sure there's a way you can see it.
All right. Can you?
Show. Cancel.
Okay. So is Milo vlogging in Europe? I hope he does. He's got an iPhone. I guess we just have to figure out a way for him to make sure that he can travel in Europe and have a phone that, is compatible with networks over there. Definitely going to encourage him to, and I think he would be good at it, once he gets over the self-conscious part of, talking to the camera and, having other people see you talking into a camera, which, big deal, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Where did Andrea and I meet? People ask me, why did you go to college? Because, you just ended up being in the construction trades like your father, and you grew up doing that stuff, and then you went to college, and then you were done with college, and you're doing construction. And what I tell people is I went to college to marry well. Because I grew up in Pittston, Maine, so the options for likely life partners is, slimmer than the big wide world. So, Andrea and I met at the College of the Atlantic and basically fell in love the summer after we graduated in 1995. Can you believe it? It's been that long. Yeah. Do we have wedding photos? We do. We want to run upstairs, ask Mom if she can find a wedding photo for me?
I don't think she's here anymore.
Oh, she's not here anymore?
She's going to go get Milo.
Oh, she's picking up Milo. Okay. I'll get some wedding photos for the next one. How's that? Okay. And I'll promise that. I forget who that was. Let's see. Wedding photos. What does this say? What I do like living in Whitefield. Okay. So I think I've caught up on my questions. And do you guys have any more questions right now? Is there anything else you wanted to see in my house? Talk about your hippie college years. Yeah, the College of the Atlantic, man. All right, I started off at Colby College, which was a really stiff, pseudo-liberal kind of pseudo-Ivy League kind of college in Maine. I love Colby College now. Believe me, it's a great asset, but it was not for me. I was, I may have told you this, I may not have told you this, but I knew that my days at Colby College were numbered near the end of my first semester when I was climbing a tree on campus and hanging out in a tree. I climbed trees as a kid all the time. Very comfortable climbing trees, very good tree climber. This happened to be an excellent climbing tree on campus. And so I was up there. How's the driver's ed going? I'll write that down. So I was up there in the tree and just hanging out. It's like a Friday night. This is what I do on a Friday night while all the other Colby kids are getting wasted drunk, So I'm up in the tree, and along comes campus security. And campus security says, "What you doing up in that tree?" So I'm just hanging out, sitting here. Not allowed to climb trees on campus. I look down why not? Because it's against the rules. You got to come down. I don't want to come down. You have to come down. So I looked down and I said, you know what? I'm coming down, but after that, I'm leaving. Like they care, right? So then I found out my best friend, I knew my best friend Troy decided to go to a different college. He went to the College of the Atlantic in Bar Harbor, which is sort of like a hippie college. And so I went and visited him there in Bar Harbor and decided that, you know what? This college is way better than the college that I'm going to now. I mean, if you look, there was no prerequisites. Take whatever classes you want. Classes like Bread, Love, and Dreams, dream analysis classes, arts classes, science classes, everything, plant classes, everything I wanted.
Can you climb trees?
Yeah, and more importantly, Zephyr, you were encouraged to do things like climb trees and swim in the ocean in February, and sure, there was drinking and there was revelry and there was partying and there was all that stuff. But it was a lot of fun because the thing about the hippie element is that it's about exploring sort of boundaries and trying to do things in an alternative way. You look much younger. Why do you have a generator? I never even got to talk about that on my solar episode, the generator, because I shut the power off of the house and lost my... Yeah, we have a generator, and the generator is used for backup power when the sun doesn't shine. After that second and a half, third day of cloudiness, when we're not charging, but we're still using electricity, that generator will kick on and it'll run for, I don't know, a couple hours, and it'll shut itself off. And if we don't have any sun for the next 24 hours, it's going to do it again every day for 2.5 hours until the sun comes out again. It burns propane. It's very quiet. It's very efficient. I don't have to touch it. It just starts itself up. It shuts itself off. It's fully automated, so that's pretty cool. Zephyr, what do you say, bro? I think that's got to be the end of my session. We're approaching 16 minutes, folks. This top of the hour thing has been a lot of fun for me. I hope it's been a lot of fun for you guys. What did I say the next hour is going to be? Zephyr.
What?
Mel M would like to know something. What do you think about my vlogging?
It's pretty annoying.
Tell us more. Why are you? A lot of people are annoyed. Why are you annoyed?
Because you're filming everything.
Because I'm always filming everything? Yeah. You like Nina Jenny, you feel like it steals your soul?
Yep.
Yeah, I knew it. She inherited some genes there. Matthew, glad you had a chance to catch this too. Thanks for chiming in. And thanks for everybody else out there in YouTube land. Okay, Kathy Miller has the last minute question here. Is Caputo Italian? Yes, it is. I think that we're probably one of the few that say Caputo. Maybe not. I imagine it's actually pronounced Caputo, back in Italy. I haven't done enough of the genealogy to know where in Italy we hearken from. I know that my father's father was first-generation American born in Springfield, Massachusetts. So his parents came over from Italy, I'm thinking probably the very early 1900s, and they were landed, as many of the Italian immigrants were, in Springfield, Mass. So that's where the Caputo comes from. My mother's maiden name is Bickford, a very English name. There's a big English, Portuguese, Irish background on her side. So that's that. Ciao, everybody. Ciao, MF Nannygram, and we'll see you next hour.